为什么现在的男生都不主动追女生的呀？
懒得追，反正也看不到进度条吧。
不好追，或者是他们喜欢同性，难说。
可能也会像我们女生一样，会有那种比较自卑，就是那种焦虑吧，自己对自己本身都有点不太自信的地方。
为什么现在男生都不主动追女生的呢？
投入产出的问题吧。大家现在的那个平等观念更强了，就觉得是一种双向的事情，就不是谁去追谁这样。
你说明明社会上是男多女少，但是婚恋市场上却掉了个头。
You see, even though there are more men than women in society, the marriage and dating market has completely flipped. The ones anxious to get married are mostly women, while our male comrades are sitting back with their legs crossed, relaxed, and unhurried, not in a rush at all. Sigh, I'm not making this up. In recent years, many cities have witnessed a gender inversion in the dating and marriage market. For example, the majority of clients at urban matchmaking agencies are women. The matchmaking corners are also packed with elderly parents trying to find partners for their daughters. And online dating platforms? The situation is even worse. Over 70% of registered users are women. Even more outrageous is that at some matchmaking events, the male-to-female ratio can be as lopsided as 1 to 50. What does that even mean? 50 women competing for just one man. And it's precisely because of this extreme imbalance that some media have come up with a sensational phrase, Chinese men are collectively escaping marriage. But then you have to ask, dating and getting married should be natural for young people, so why are our male comrades showing such strong resistance? We searched through most of the online opinions on this topic. Let's get to the point first. In the eyes of most men, the reason they're unwilling to get married, at its core, is because the expectations and criteria between men and women when it comes to choosing a marriage partner have drastically diverged. The reason is simple. The division of labor in our society is becoming more and more equal. The old tradition of men working outside, women managing the household has long been gone. Girls nowadays, whether in terms of education or income, are already very close to men. So naturally, they place higher expectations on their partners, which is actually very reasonable. I'm outstanding, so I want my partner to be outstanding too, right? But the problem is that in this overall environment, a small portion of women have taken this mindset to an extreme. For example, in recent years, we've seen popular feminist toxic chicken soup, short videos targeted at women, even mini-dramas, all of them pushing the idea that in order to get married, you must find someone who is handsome, rich, considerate, and provides emotional value. Take a viral dating show from the past. There was this one case. The female host asked a girl what her requirements were. She bluntly said, "If he earns less than 20,000 yuan a month, I'm not considering him. If he's under 1.8 meters tall, I'm not considering him. And if he's stingy with gifts or refuses to buy expensive ones, not considering him either." I'm not trying to rain on anyone's parade, but the average salary in Shanghai in 2024 is just over 12,000 yuan. The average height of Chinese males aged 18 to 44 is 1.7 meters. By these standards, this girl's expectations aren't just unrealistic, they're almost statistically impossible. And now that we're in the internet era, these flashy and exaggerated standards for choosing a partner spread even more easily. As a result, what started off as bizarre demands from a small number of women have gradually led to the entire female group being eroded by this mindset. Then guys start thinking, well, I don't meet the criteria anyway. On top of that, marriage means buying a car, a house, and paying a bride price. No matter how I do the math, it's a losing game. Let's start with the bride price. According to public data, in some provinces and cities, the standard for a bride price has even surpassed 8 times the local average disposable income. That means one has to work hard for 8 years just to save up enough for the bride price. In the end, our male comrades just throw up their hands, flip the table, and give up, choosing not to marry at all. Honestly, everyone can see it now. The reason marriage is becoming harder is because the cost of getting married keeps rising. Marriage is becoming more and more expensive. And men's reluctance to marry is actually a silent rebellion against the excessive demands for rights from women, following the collapse of the traditional male-female social role division. Of course, this doesn't mean our male comrades are against gender equality. It's just that they've realized the effort and responsibilities they have to bear far outweigh the benefits marriage brings. And men aren't stupid, they can do the math. That's why we're seeing this strange phenomenon of Chinese men collectively escaping marriage. Nowadays, from the government to the grassroots, everyone is calling for marriage, offering policies and benefits to encourage young people to marry and have children. But if we truly want to raise the marriage and birth rates, there's still a long, long way to go.
我觉得现在的中国式婚姻对于男人来说就是一场骗局。
I'm increasingly convinced that modern Chinese-style marriage is nothing short of a complete scam for men. Just ask a man to seriously think about it. What does marriage really mean? Why do you want to get married? Who do you want to marry? What do you want from marriage? And what have you actually gotten? Most men have never even thought about these questions. They just got married in a blur, tricked and coaxed into it by their parents' urging, by women's expectations, and by so-called traditional values. It's only after getting married that they suddenly realize they've been duped. When they were single, making 7,000 or 8,000 yuan a month, they lived like little emperors. After getting married, even with a salary of 20,000 or 30,000 yuan, they're living worse than beggars. That warm home he fantasized about? In reality, it's turned into a mental hell. Before getting off work, he has to smoke a cigarette just to muster the courage to go home. When his salary hits the account, it doesn't even get a chance to warm up before it's handed over to the woman. He wants to buy a gaming console to treat himself but doesn't dare. He wants to buy a motorcycle he likes but has to think it over for days. If he wants to go out for a drink with friends, he has to report to his wife several days in advance. He works overtime until late at night, dragging his exhausted body home, and forget about anyone preparing a meal. There's not even a hot bowl of soup. When ordering takeout, he even has to write "Please don't knock on the door," just in case he disturbs his wife's precious rest. What's even more ridiculous is that the first thing he has to say when stepping through the door is, "Honey, you've worked hard." And I just want to ask, is it the man who's out there hustling every day, bearing all the pressure and making money that's worked hard, or the woman lying on the couch watching dramas and shopping online? What's truly nauseating is that some women spend your money, show zero gratitude, and still act all high and mighty, lecturing you with lines like, "So many people chased after me back then, how did I end up blind enough to choose you?" While enjoying everything you provide, she demands that you give 120% effort. "If you love me, you have to go all in. You must tolerate my temper, understand my emotions, and meet my needs." When she wants emotional support, you need to be emotionally intelligent and comforting. When she wants financial security, you better be earning well. When she needs to vent, you become her punching bag. When she wants to rest, you can't even lay a finger on her. At times like these, I can't help but ask. A man who is thoughtful, makes money, listens obediently, and also happens to be tall and handsome. Why on earth would he devote himself to just you? Just because you're lazy, greedy, and living like a parasite feeding off men? This is the absurd reality of modern Chinese marriage. What have men been pushed into? They have to plow the fields like an ox, pull the mill like a donkey, and get slaughtered like a sheep, reduced to nothing more than personal ATMs for women. They're expected to earn money for the family, yet have no right to decide how it's spent. They're supposed to fund a woman's beauty and lifestyle, yet can't enjoy the slightest freedom themselves. All responsibility, zero rights. And in the end he realizes, he's tried his best to meet everyone's expectations, but not a single person actually cares how he feels. I really want to ask, how did men go insane like this? Why must they get married? Is this what you call marriage? This is nothing less than legalized slavery.
一个聪明的美女，她会选择丑的、矮的，但是她绝对不会选择抠的。
A truly smart and beautiful woman, she might accept a man who's unattractive and short, but she would absolutely never choose a stingy man. This is something you should never take lightly. Sisters, take my advice. Never date a stingy man. Seriously, stingy men, once you date one, you'll be silenced. Each one is more ridiculous than the last. You know that saying? Everyone has their own Hamlet in their heart. What it means is, everyone has their own judgment and preferences. But I'm telling you, don't try to be individual about this. Because once you've dated a stingy man, you'll know exactly what it means to regret it beyond words. Those smart and beautiful women, they've already figured out how to protect themselves. They never let themselves fall into an emotional vortex of self-consumption. As long as a man makes her feel uncomfortable, dishonest, or shows even the slightest unwillingness to give, they don't hesitate for a second, they block, delete, and cut ties instantly. They understand how to stop losses in time, with no loose ends left behind. Only the less wise ones keep getting emotionally drained by jerks and stingy guys. Because they love the wrong person, they live with more and more grievance, grow less and less radiant, and end up with nothing at all. So, sisters, once you come across a man who's not willing to spend money on you, don't hesitate for even 1 second. Block him immediately.
现在男生真的是一点都不追女生了，然后总还把那个舔狗挂在嘴上。
Now, guys are really becoming more and more passive. They almost never take the initiative to pursue girls anymore. They keep talking about the word simp all the time, as if just being a little proactive would immediately get them labeled with that tag. For example, when they've just met a girl, they send her a message, and if she doesn't reply, they definitely won't send a second one, because sending another would make them a simp, or if they ask a girl out for a meal and she says no the first time, they won't ask again. Taking one more step of initiative seems like lowering their own worth. Guys think this way. I'm also an only child, I'm also the precious one in my family, so why should I humble myself to chase after you? What obligation do I have to please you? But have you ever thought about this? Us girls also have our own thoughts. I've just met you, and I haven't even seen what your attitude is like yet. I might really be busy and didn't get a chance to reply to your message. But when you see that we girls didn't reply, and then you never message again, of course we'll think you're not interested in us girls. Then we'll definitely not contact you either, because we're girls, after all, we can't just go around chasing guys, right? So if everyone is so calculative, so passive, then no one's going to date anyone. To be honest, if you meet a girl and think she's not bad, then give each other a few more chances. Do you really think you'll meet that many girls who make your heart flutter? In your entire life, how many women who are quite a good match can you realistically encounter? Since you've met one, don't give up so easily. Be a bit more proactive, hang in there a little longer, and putting in a bit more effort isn't a bad thing at all. Likewise, if a girl also thinks the guy is pretty decent, then she shouldn't always keep up that prideful attitude either. Respond a little, take some initiative. Maybe the outcome would be completely different. If both people are willing to step forward just a little bit, the chances of getting into a relationship would be much higher. Because only when you really get to know each other and interact, will there be a possibility for making a choice. If you're always quick to say, forget it, or walk away after a disagreement with, I'll just find another girl, do you really think you'll always have another suitable girl waiting? Go ask those men who are 37 or 38 years old. You'll find that they might not meet a truly suitable girl for an entire year or two. By the time they realize they should have cherished that one good match, it might already be too late. In the end, when it comes to relationships, it still feels more natural for girls to be slightly on the receiving end. Guys should just be more proactive, make more of an effort, not to lose face, but to win the chance.
有的男人他虽然很有钱，但是他对女人极其的不尊重。
Not all men who can make money or who are rich will be generous to women. And not all men are worth a woman's time to plan for or strategize around. 'Cause some men, although very wealthy, have absolutely no respect for women. When he's with you, the first thing he wants to see is whether you're truly sincere toward him, whether you're someone who is willing to give. Only if you're patient enough, tolerant enough, and caring enough will he maybe start to give something back to you. If you expect him to give first, it's almost impossible. He'll think, if I have to spend money on a woman just so she'll be with me, then why should I choose you? Why can't I just find someone else? There's no need for me to pick you specifically. Once you reach your breaking point during this long period of patience and finally erupt like a volcano, he'll reevaluate who you are. Only when he is completely satisfied will he possibly begin to give. But there's no way around it. Since he has money, the moment you're with him, there's already a power imbalance. The rules between you are set by him. Even if you feel uncomfortable or unfair, you can walk away, but he won't try to stop you. This kind of man is the classic rich and cold-blooded type. He might not even be particularly lustful, and the chances of him falling hard for a woman are extremely low. So, sisters, when we're faced with this kind of man, should we choose to endure it? Or should we try to get what we want through a long, drawn-out effort? If that's the case, you'd better be ready for a long battle. Otherwise, it's better not to start this relationship at all. You might as well put more energy into yourself instead. No matter how much or how little we earn, at least we feel peace in our hearts. The women who can actually deal with this kind of man are all top-level players. They have their ways to get these men to obediently spend money and time on them. If you don't think you're at that level, then I suggest you stick with regular men. They may not be rich, but at least they're easier for us to handle.
Tell everyone, nowadays more and more Chinese men are no longer naive. On the contrary, they are extremely clear-headed. Just how clear-headed? When going on a date and having dinner with a woman, they dare to directly suggest going Dutch. When registering for marriage, they can ask the woman to do a premarital medical check. Even after getting married, he will still ask how much money the woman has in her savings. In the past, it was definitely the era of men chasing after women. What about now? Many men don't pursue women anymore, which has led to some women having to chase after men instead. In the past, during a relationship that lasted a year or more, the guy might not even dare to hold the woman's hand. Now it's like this. After 3 dates with a woman, if you still don't make the relationship official, the man will immediately move on to the next woman. And that's not even the most shocking part. In the past, men had to prepare a house and a car just to get married, while the woman only had to show up. But now, more and more men are waking up. The new rule is, if I'm giving you a bride price, then the woman must also provide a dowry. And if the dowry is too little, that's not acceptable either. If the woman doesn't bring a dowry, then don't even think about getting a single yuan of bride price. And when it comes to putting the woman's name on the house, more and more men are saying no, even staying single, spending the money you earn on food, drinks, and travel. Doesn't that sound better? So you see, the times have changed. Many men are no longer as foolish as they used to be. So I want to say one heartfelt thing to those women who hope to make a big profit through marriage. You really need to recognize your own situation clearly before going out to find a partner. Because today's Chinese men are becoming more and more clear-headed, more and more rational. Some have even begun to move toward a completely new lifestyle, MGTOW. What do you think? Do you know any men like this around you? Feel free to share your honest thoughts in the comments section. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and subscribe to our channel. See you in the next one.